Welcome, everyone, to another session, actually number 43 of Conscious Gatherers. I'm joined tonight, as usual, with Bev and Royse. Ladies, are you there?
Hello. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Yep, as Terry said, this is episode 43, and we have, of course, a lot more to share with you tonight, and we appreciate you all listening to us and being here with us.
So before we start, did you ladies do anything special for Memorial Day?
Put out the flag.
You what?
Put out the flag.
Good for you.
All
Good.
weekend.
Yeah, actually not, but it's just giving gratitude. I did this internally, giving gratitude to all the service members that have gone on and are still working throughout the world. Of course, this is a U.S. thing, but just appreciation of all that who have served and the courage it takes to do that, and the givingness, the self-love that these people have, and it's just really greatly appreciated.
Well, yes, and I do appreciate and thank all of the servicers, people that serve our country throughout the years. And even though in my era, when the Vietnam, people didn't get what they deserved, but I think they're all getting it now. So that's great. Yeah. I took advantage of pretty much COVID opening up, the people opening back up. My wife and I went and visited our son and daughter-in-law in Denver and spent 3.5 days with them. Got in late last night, but that was fun to go and fly again. And the masks were all required. But there was no special distancing and seating. The seats were all full and stuff, and gone from there. All right, ladies, what would you like to discuss this evening?
Well, where do we start? Earlier I said, and I'm going to say it, I thought, is this world getting more weird or what? So just a lot going on, a lot of weirdness I'm seeing out there. A lot of people talking to me personally about some of the issues that they're going through, as well as hearing other podcasts, and I'm going to say some journalists bringing things forth. I'm not talking about our regular mainstream media news, but beyond that, and just a lot of crazy things going on. But it's also, this is indeed quite a huge awakening that is happening right now. To me, it's very obvious, but at times it's like, oh my God, it seems like it's getting more weird. But anyway, that's
part of the process.
It's part of the process. So, any comments on that before we go on, Terry?
Well, can you be more specific on what you mean by weird? Examples, maybe?
Yeah, I just feel like the depth of duality is being seen, and because of the division. Now, I know we've talked about this, but man, it's still continuing. All the divisions that are being perpetuated on humanity, and this is worldwide. And I just see it as like, what is happening? And it's like, who do we trust? And where do we even get any truth? And what's really happening here? What's really happening there? And it's really all of us, going through the changes that we're going through, and some of these people that want to keep the old way of being, and the old paradigm, the duality program. And so, I can see it for what it is, and it's just interesting that it's just still being perpetuated in the name of it's supposed to bring us together, but I see it as quite different. Such as I know we had talked about cancel culture, and I was calling it cancer culture accidentally. And even though I've heard other people say the same thing, and the whole race, thing that's going on, and I was like, yeah, I think we went through all of that years ago, and I felt things were pretty good. And I think a lot of the stuff that's being perpetuated now in the media is to divide us even more. And you're seeing it, and then but I'm seeing people are saying no more. We're tired of all this stuff going on, and they're saying enough's enough.
Yeah, it's I think understanding the fullness of what that duality program is. We have to have the understanding of what it is in order to move beyond it, to come back together again. So we're getting to see everything very blatantly that is not one.
So. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you're speaking duality. Let me use another term: contrast. Without contrast, it's hard for you to make a choice. So when you have contrast, you're able to see that and decide, what you want, what you choose to do in the midst of that conflict, contrast, whatever you want to call it. So that's part of the lessons and part of what 3D, physical world provides for us, that we have that contrast, the black and the white, the right and the left, the up and the down, and, the all around and that kind of stuff. Without that, it's hard to make a choice.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And that's what we talked about our last podcast, a matter of choice. And talking about, we talked about the law of attraction and what we focus on, all of that we've covered, but that continues in front of us is what we focus on. And I'm seeing issues within families where some family members aren't getting along, and why are they doing this? And all of these old, I'm calling them old programs, but people are going through their issues. And with these energies, all the issues keep coming up, and you think we're over them, but we're still not. And so I'm seeing it within families. I'm seeing anxiety out there, people going through, quite a bit of anxiety, and just helping people through that whole thing about breathing and centering and bringing the hands to the heart to help calm the whole nervous system. And it does work. And all three of us have mentioned the ways of calming the anxiety that we may be feeling or others may be feeling. And then nations with nations and all of this other stuff that's happening, with so-called wars and the missiles in the Mideast and Israel and the Hamas. Yeah, it's like I'm not even sure we're getting the full story on that whole thing. So I know it's going on. I really hate to see anybody ever get hurt. It's like, why is this happening? And so it's when I'm talking about some of the weird stuff going on, we have the UFO whole thing coming out, and more so in the news. And I did mention a few minutes ago about mainstream media, but obviously I do hear some of it. The whole UFO stories are coming to light, and that whole issue is going to wake up a lot of people. And more of that will come out, is coming out with our Congress, I believe. More will be shared. And I don't know how many thousands of documents will be out for the public to see. And so it's something that we really can't deny anymore. So that's all going on now. And even some of the media is saying, okay, we got to protect ourselves from from a lot of these aliens, so-called alien forces. Well, they've been here on this earth for, ever, and we're all part of them. And so, but a lot of people have no idea this is going on. And so now it is in their face. And that's some of the things that we talked about in the last couple podcasts. It's in our faces now. It's not to fear any of this. This is just coming to light. In other words, coming to knowledge. And when I talk, So, and then I'm hearing that a lot of ships are showing themselves now, or our veils are thinning enough that as we're moving further along in the fourth dimension, that we're able to see many of these other beings and ships that may have already and always been there, but we couldn't see them, and now we're starting to see them. So there's going to be a little more interaction going on.
Yeah, I think there's an announcement coming sometime this month. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know how that's going to transpire, who's doing it, but I thought it might be the Pentagon doing it. But we'll see. Time frame might be off. It might happen in July.
Yeah, June, July. But I'm still seeing reports on this daily. Some of the podcasts that I watch or people that report on this phenomena. You can call it phenomena. It just is. It's part of life.
Yeah.
And we're here, they're here. All of us are here together. And in the last podcast, we talked about the galactic unification of nations. And so what that is all these different type of beings are here, and we are them. So, we're human, but or Homo sapiens becoming Homo
luminous.
Homo luminous, and which we have talked about in previous episodes. So, it's happening. It's really happening. And so more revelations are shaking things up a bit, and it's for us to stay centered. And also, is just be not afraid to hold another's hand. We got to assist with that love. And especially if these people are going through that anxiety right now, they're feeling it, and they're taking it within themselves. And it's very hard for people. And so, hold their hand, talk to them, let them get whatever they need to get out. And so they feel more comfortable, because I'm hearing people that are seeing things and hearing things that are not as physical as we know it's physical, and it scares them. And they're saying, okay, nothing can touch us unless we allow that to happen. And so it's just, again, holding their hand and helping them through the processes and becoming heart-centered through the ways of bringing the hands to the heart, or your attention to your being, the light over the being. And Terry, you have mentioned the Ho'oponopono. And so all of that to help calm the nerves that are going on in the world.
Absolutely. And the key factor too is just stay centered. Be the center of the hurricane and watch it pass by and move with it and stay in the center. And because that's the best place to be. You don't get caught up in the whirlwind of things and thrown around and tossed and turned, and you're able to stay in there and say, okay, well, this is going to pass. And this is whatever it's here for. I'm going to be the observer and not get caught up in it. And the other tools, heart math, Ho'oponopono, those are really, really good tools. Conscious language, another good tool. It's just, they're all out there. Hopefully we bring them up and talk enough about them that you'll go do some research on your own. If you ever want the three of us to come and do a class on anything or a workshop, we're always available for that. We just have to put it in the calendar and decide what we're going to do, and we'd be happy to talk about that, maybe even on this show too. So there's a lot that can happen, but just remember, you are the center of your universe. You create that which you experience, those people that come into your life. Everything is drawn to you by the law of attraction, and you're doing that moment by moment by your thoughts and words. Attached with the feelings, they manifest faster or slower based on the feeling you have with that. And just keep that in mind.
All right. Well, here we go. You open that door. So anybody that would like us to do, a workshop and via through Zoom or whatever, or in person. Yeah, of course, we like the in-person because it's much more personable.
Yeah.
It's the name.
Well, but not only that, they can feel the energy. I can
right,
tell
exactly.
you all, I've been around both Royse and Beverly, and when they are emitting energy, doing specific channeling or healing, you feel it. It's not just, something that we're talking about. It's definitely real, and that's why in person would be so much more powerful, because you will feel the energy, you'll interact with the energy, and it'll open up your energy, your vortexes, and then you'll start feeling what you have inside and connect and be able to communicate with that inner higher self that's real, that's true, and that's connected to the all and the one. So always in person is better.
It is. Well, thank you, Terry, for that. Appreciate that. And all three of us, you can feel that the energy is palpable. Yeah, definitely palpable. And, a lot of people will get goosebumps, or their hair will stand on end, or whatever it may be. But notice the energies within your body. Sometimes I'll feel it in my legs, sometimes I'll feel it in my arms, sometimes in my heart center, and it's different places on your body, or my whole body will tingle. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know that you're tuning in, and that something is truth. Yeah. So, well, one thing I'm looking at one of my writings, and it's called A Rude Awakening, and so that's what we're going through in a way. And I was told that the word rude is one that we on other planets of existence laugh at because of the word's connotation. Is it really rude to wake up to who you truly are, or who you really are? It's like, no, obviously. And but what we're hearing is that they see it as a great blessing. And so this process may feel rather rude to those of us that are receiving a jolt of awakening, and like, whoa, this is not what I expected. But they're letting go of all the past patterns of miscreation, and letting go of those old belief systems. And I know we've said this before, but we're going to repeat it over and over again, because we're finding out how deep those belief systems go. And as Royse was saying earlier, it's really understanding the fullness of being. Yeah. And you don't realize how deep we have been in that duality field or contrast field that you mentioned, Terry.
Right. Another phrasing and language for rude awakening could be raw awakening. It's different energy, and it makes you vulnerable, maybe. So that could be very interesting too. And always check your feelings, because the universe is there. The Creator, the Source, is there to always give you love and comfort and support. And if you're not feeling that, then you're out of sync with Creator in your own phraseology, thinking, or whatever, and simply go back to the core, ask for support, ask for love, and it'll be given to you. Anytime you ask, it is always answered. It's whether you are open enough to receive it and believe it. So if you ask for something, it's already given to you. The answer is given. Just be open to receive and know that it's coming. So if you're ever out of balance, out of sync, aren't feeling the love and comfort, ask for it and wait for it. It'll be there.
I want to bring up the word love. And we talked about love last podcast as being a force. Mm-hmm. and how it's the most powerful force in the period. Yeah. I was going to say in the universe, but it just
beyond
is.
That.
It's beyond that, yeah. And so do we truly understand love? And here is some things that I was told on love, and I want to share that. Love is knowing, an absolute knowing, that you are a light force holding creation in your hands. It is the ultimate of life, an all-encompassing field of power, of knowledge, of oneness, or one. It is knowing that each one of mankind is a part of yourself. It is seeing in the eyes the beauty that they are. It is seeing into your own eyes the beauty that you are. It is the beauty of the all forms of life on this earth plane and all other planes of existence. Feel the dynamics of this energy of the Creator. Feel this within and hold this feeling. And it says, we soon will be operating from the state of being. It's miraculous. And we're going to be creating miraculously. It's our divine right. So know this. It's love. It's knowing.
We were created out of love. We were created in love, and we are creators of love.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Repeat that again, Terry.
We were created in love. We were created out of love, and we are creators of love.
All right.
Because we were created in the image of our Creator, which is love, the ultimate.
Okay. Love it. I didn't even think about when I said that.
No pun intended, right?
All right.
I was thinking of the force, the power of love. You could almost liken it, well, maybe not almost, but maybe just plainly liken it to gamma radiation, because with light, the world that we experience, it's like white light shone through a prism. It's split into all those different colors, all the different frequencies. But when you back it up, it's all that white light just split up. And that's the visible part of the spectrum. When you go further beyond what we can see with the naked eye, at the very tip-top end, you go into gamma radiation. It's still light, but it's invisible. It's the most powerful light that we know of. So I'm just wondering about how gamma radiation and love go together in the creative process. Because the center of our solar system is a black hole, and it's spewing out gamma rays out the top and out the bottom. And I look at that as it is pulling in all of the stuff that's been, recycling it as it were, purifying it, and spitting it out as something brand spanking new, extremely pure, extremely powerful. It's like the fertilizer of the solar system. So I think I could say with confidence that love is the fertilizer of life.
Okay. I'll have to think about that. And I guess it's, what is gamma?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that?
It's the fastest vibration. Can't be seen, but is known to be there. It is light, but beyond what is perceptible.
Thank you. All right. It's like, okay, what is it? What does that really mean? Well, all right. We're moving through our whole solar system, our whole galaxy. We're moving. Okay. And there's planetary, we're going to start seeing, or maybe we already are. I can say maybe because I know people are taking pictures of these discs or spheres that are near the sun and in the sky. This is recent. And in the month of May, I think at 3 times there was what looked like this huge sphere that was, 1,000 times bigger than the Earth. Don't quote me on that, but it was quite large. And we don't know what it is. It just looked like a round disc, but you really couldn't see on it. But it was near the sun, and so there's a lot more out there. And so we're so-called out there. Okay, so there's going to be more reports on these planetary changes that are happening within our solar system, and the so-called anomalies taking place within our galaxy and beyond. And so we can actually attune our inner eye to these changes. And so within our intent, we can go within and allow our light body, with I call it projective consciousness, but our light body to move through the ethers, and we can witness firsthand the movements of light and people and beings of other planets and the planets themselves. And there are quite a few people that are adept at doing so. I've done it. I don't do it that much, but we have the ability to do that. And so as we do it more and we have more communication, exchange of ideas through thought manifestation, which is the same thing as telepathy. And so as we were talking a couple of weeks ago about the unification of nations, that's where actually we're sharing, and I'm going to put in quotations, technologies. And so it changes things that we're doing here on Earth, and it helps them. And so I'm not saying AI technologies, but that technologies within our own DNA, because our DNA is changing. And so that's another reason why people are going through the sleeping patterns of change. They may be awake one night, and they may be asleep 10 hours the next night. And so all of these things are happening now, and they have been going on, but it seems to be more of an uptick of this in the last few days, especially as we went through the eclipse and the blood full moon, that people could really feel those energies. So to be aware of our DNA changes in the human body, again, the other strands of DNA, which we used to call junk DNA, which is not at all junk, that we're starting to realize that is a big part of us as we reconnect to other aspects of ourselves and all others.
And there's the thing you were talking about, the weirdness that we've been experiencing in the world today. I think it would help a lot if we change our minds. One of my friend's little girls said, if you change your mind, God will give you everything. She said that when she was 4.5 years old. But if we change our mind, that means that we're changing how we are seeing the world. So if there's something going on right in front of your face and it looks quite ugly, how about changing your mind? Change the way you choose to see it. See it as light. That's not changing that other thing. It's changing your own outlook, changing your mind. And the old ones say that the universe is mind stuff. So if we change our mind, choose something a little bit with a higher vibration, there isn't anything that we could not have an effect upon. So just change our own minds, change our own outlook.
Thank you. It really tells you how miraculous we are.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are. We're extremely incredible human beings, and that's what we've been talking about from day one. And it's like we realize this, and that we talk about it. Yeah, I'm starting to realize it more personally. Yeah, and it's like, wow, this is going on. Wow, that's going on. Oh, can you see that? Okay, then I'll go back. It's like, why isn't this happening? That old duality, and it's that under the writing of the Root Awakening is, why do you still feel a need for evil? And it's like, do we really need that anymore? And then, again, that's part of the old duality program that we put together. And it's like, no, we really don't need that anymore. And other beings, of course, have jumped in, and they still affect us. And yet their energies will not carry them into the higher dimensions. So something to think about as we get more into the so-called UFO stuff that is being broadcast throughout the world. So.
Well put.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of bases tonight.
Yes, we did. I want to thank you all for that. And of our listeners, I don't believe we have any listeners on live, but we appreciate the ones that are coming back and listening to it and watching it on our YouTube channel, Conscious Gatherers, and the comments and feedback. is great. Keep it up. And again, our next podcast will be June 15th, which will be halfway through June, which puts us halfway through the year of 2021, which is very hard to comprehend that it's gone so fast. But that's where we are. So things must be speeding up, and fun things are to come. Wonderful things are around the horizon. So with that, ladies, I think it's time for us to say goodnight, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I love you.